The first 5 things you should check when you get your new Tacoma. Well, good morning everybody, and welcome back to Robmotive. That's right, you've gone out, you've checked around, you've been through the bartering process. Now you've got the keys, you've signed the paperwork, you're ready to roll. But as soon as you get that Tacoma home, or maybe even before, these are the first 5 things that you should check. Now, first of all, oil. Oil. It's one of the simplest things you could look at with one of the biggest downfalls or consequences if you don't have enough. So let's take a quick look. If you're brand new to the Tacoma, maybe you don't know, right over here on the left is how you release the hood, set the Kraken free. Go over here to the hood. Of course, you have the safety latch here in the front. You want to pull that over, and then you'll have to lift the hood. Now, on mine, I've of course put the struts on. Right there, actually I only have one because the other one didn't fit with my new cold air intake. But anyway, you have to go ahead and put the little rod up to hold the hood. Okay, I think that's a given. Now, as far as the oil goes, the dipstick, they've conveniently placed right here in the front. So obviously, you want to pull the stick, wipe it off, put it back in, let the oil settle if you've been driving it for a while, and make sure that you've got the proper amount of oil in your Tacoma. If by some chance you need to add it, right over here is where you would add the oil. You won't have the TRD gas cap most likely, but you'll have the oil filler neck right there. Now, while you're under here, it wouldn't hurt just to take a quick glance at a couple other things. Now, the dealership is supposed to take care of this when the truck first comes in, but hey, things happen, right? So you've got some brake fluid, you've got some, in my case, transmission, or not transmission, but clutch fluid, let's call it. Over here, you've got your windshield washer fluid, power steering fluid. Just take a quick look at these things just to make sure, and you can see, for instance, right back there, the level, you can see it from standing here. You don't have to pull any nozzles or anything, and that's the way it is with most everything else under here. Just a quick check to make sure that your new Tacoma has the fluids that it's supposed to have, right? Next up, tire pressures. You know, for some reason, dealerships always love to pump up the tire pressures. Now, I think they do that for a reason, because it gives a different ride, a more desirable ride, when the tires are chock full of air, right? So make sure that you whip out your tire gauge. And by the way, speaking of tire gauges, you know, there's all kinds of newfangled funky tire gauges out there, but I find the best one to be the old simple style gauge like this. Just pushes out on the end. You guys can see here when you put it over and check your tire pressure. Best one that I found, most accurate. I have another one like this. It's the old electronic one. You push the button and it shows how much pressure's in it. These have never lasted well for me. I don't know why, but I highly recommend just the old style tire pressure gauge. Next up, remove that glove box tag. Now, what I'm talking about, and this has been, man, I think I've bought 70 new vehicles in my lifetime, and I think probably at least 65 of them have always had this tag on. The dealer never takes it off. Maybe there's some requirement by law or something, I don't know, but you'll always notice hanging off the top of your glove box over there, there'll be a tag. I believe it talks about airbags and stuff. It's the only one that they leave on. Make sure you rip that thing off, and the sooner the better, because you don't want the glue to leave any kind of residue or anything on there. The other thing is the radio. If you've got your new Tacoma and you're driving home and you think, man, the screen looks kind of funky, what is that? Maybe there's some bubbles in it, something weird looking, a crease. Probably because they didn't take the clear protective film off of the front of your radio. Now, it's a great thing, don't get me wrong. I think it's awesome that they actually put it on, but it needs to be removed. Some people leave it on because they think it protects the radio. You know, the radio is designed to be touched. It is a touch screen, so I would go ahead and pull that off. Kind of up to you, but for me, there's really absolutely no reason to do that. Next up, and this is something, if I'm being honest, I haven't done yet. I've had this truck for, it's been over a year, and I have not done this. And that is, if you've got a satellite radio subscription, make sure that you call, as painful as it is, your satellite service provider. I think the only one out there now is Sirius, but call them and transfer your subscription over to your new Tacoma. Because if you don't, you're going to be providing satellite service free of charge to the next owner of whatever it is you traded in. Now, I'll tell you a little story. That's happened to actually a couple people I know. They've gone out, bought used cars, some pretty high-end used cars, got them home, and they had satellite radio service. Now, I'm not talking about the 3-month trial that a lot of dealerships will put on. I'm talking about a bona fide subscription. I say that because both of them now have had their cars for over 2 years. They have never signed up for satellite service, and they are still receiving it. So whoever it was that owned the car before did not do that. If they have satellite on their new vehicle, I'm assuming they bought a new vehicle, they probably bought a new plan and are paying for these two people to have satellite radio. Make sure you do that. It's a pretty simple thing, except for your time. Lastly, dealer stickers and license plate brackets. This is a big pet peeve of mine. You know, I mentioned once before, when I first got my Tacoma here, right on the back, they had placed, and I saw them do it, they had placed a dealer sticker right here. Big beaming sticker. Now, obviously, they do that for publicity, right? Advertising. I mean, you're out driving around everywhere, and I don't know about you guys, but when I look at the back of a vehicle, I see it, especially if it's something that's beaming, right? One of those great, big, colorful, bright stickers. Get it off there. And the best time to take it off is right after you get your new Tacoma, because it's not set yet. That adhesive hasn't cured fully. So it's pretty easy, especially if it's hot out or you're in the sun, to just grab a corner and take it off, and you probably won't even have any cleanup. The other thing is the license plate bracket. You know, they love, I've never been to any dealer that didn't put a bracket around the license plate advertising the dealership. They all do it. Some of them look pretty good, excluding the wording that they have around the plate. Now, for me, you'll notice I do have one around mine right now, but it is, of course, to advertise my own channel, right? This is my business, as you know, the dealership is their business. So I put it on there to advertise the channel, doing the same thing that the dealers do, but that's to benefit me. Unless they're sending you a check every month, and I've never heard of any dealership doing that, get that thing off of there. Anyway, these are just the first 5 things that you should do when you get your brand new Tacoma. Leave a comment, let me know. Do you do these things? Did I leave anything important off? Of course, there are other things like call your insurance company. But those are the main things that you can do pretty quickly at home. Leave a comment, let me know if you do these things as well. Also, real quick, I do have 2 additional channels. Robmotive Tundra, all about my quest for the upcoming redesigned Toyota Tundra. And Robmotive JT, all about my 2020 Jeep Gladiator. Check them out, and if you're interested, please consider subscribing. Don't forget to click that notification bell so that you don't miss out on any upcoming videos. And do me a favor, smash that subscribe button on the way out. Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there. Bye.